Breaking news now into NBC 10. Skyforce 10 over shooting now on Page Street in Strawberry Mansion. This is all unfolding. You can see Philadelphia police on the scene. No word yet on the injuries, but count on NBC 10 for the very latest. Well, later this summer, work will get started to add an extra lane to the Garden State Parkway in South Jersey. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority will pay just over $41 million to add a third lane between Galloway and Egg Harbor townships. The shoulders of the road will also be widened as part of the project. Construction is expected to begin after Labor Day. Now, this project, expected to reduce traffic congestion on the Parkway, would not wrap up until August of 2017.
Happening now, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie continuing his summer meetings.
This is NBC 10 News.
Right now at 4:30, nearly 2 years since Superstorm Sandy left its mark, people are still out of a home and are running into a lot of red tape. Now they're doing something about it.
They're taking their fight to Capitol Hill. NBC 10's Keith Jones is live in the Digital Operations Center to tell us about the argument they presented to lawmakers. Keith?
Yeah, almost 2 years have passed since Superstorm Sandy, and today we learned hundreds of people maybe still without assistance. Many of them haven't received any help. That's why many residents of New Jersey attended a Senate hearing today intended to examine FEMA's flood insurance claims process. New Jersey Senators Cory Booker and Bob Menendez vowed to look for reform so these families could finally receive the assistance they need, some of whom lost their homes during the superstorm. That includes Toms River resident Douglas Quinn, who also lost most of his possessions when 3 feet of water crept up the walls of his one-story house. Quinn isn't happy about how long it's taking to get financial help.
I'm still have not gotten resolution from my insurance company or from FEMA, but at least they see what the issues are.
We've had hundreds of clients contact us about flood insurance issues, and people still, like, our hotline still rings with new calls on a daily basis, and a lot of those calls do concern flood insurance claims.
Yeah, Attorney Mary Ann Flanagan testified today. She's fought a lot of underpayments of insurance claims, long delays in assistance, and flat-out denials without giving a definitive reason. Now, keep in mind, 21 months have passed since Hurricane Sandy. The head of FEMA said today they're going to do the best they can as an organization to address these concerns. Live in the Digital Operations Center, Keith Jones, NBC 10 News.
Now, your NBC 10 First Alert weather.
And our stretch of sunny weather continues this Wednesday with temperatures only in the high 70s. We found a lot of people out and about in the city, here at Broad and Green Streets, for instance, in Spring Garden. But this break from the summer heat isn't going to last.
NBC 10 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Glenn Hurricane Schwartz is here now to talk about the return of the heat, the humidity, and the rain too, Glenn?
Well, the humidity returns first, and then the rain. Tomorrow, we're still going to have low humidity. The temperature is going to be tolerable. Rain chances minimal. After that, it starts going up. Well, right now we see sunshine across the area, and it has been just a spectacular day. We have some clouds way up to the north and west, even north and west of the Poconos. 80 degrees now in Philadelphia, northeast Philly, Atlantic City International, and also Millville, other places in the mid to upper 70s. We've got a gorgeous evening everywhere. Temperatures dropping through the 70s in Philadelphia during the night tonight, but in the 60s by 10 o'clock in some of the suburbs, and it'll be down in the 50s by morning once again. But I'll have the timing on when the rain comes in and how it's going to affect the weekend with the 7-day in a few minutes.
Here are some of the stories making headlines on NBC 10 News at 4. Federal prosecutors say 6 Philadelphia narcotics officers have been indicted on racketeering and other charges. The U.S. Attorney's Office says from 2006 to 2012, these officers robbed and extorted suspected drug dealers and lied on their police reports to cover up their crimes. 3 men have been arrested for an armed robbery that happened last week at Caesars in Atlantic City. Court documents obtained by NBC 10 show one of the suspects is Yaya Plummer, worked at the casino as a security guard. Now, police say Plummer, along with Dwayne Morgan and Aaron Evans, stole more than $181,000 at gunpoint. And there are new details in the case of the deadly carjacking crash last week in Tioga. NBC 10 News has learned there were 2 other carjackings in the very same neighborhood in the days before the tragedy. Police don't know if there's a connection between the 3 crimes.
Skyforce 10 over the scene of a hit-and-run crash in North Philadelphia. Police say a driver slammed into the front of a building here on North 22nd Street around 6 this morning and then just took off. No one was hurt, but the front of the building was damaged. Also in North Philadelphia, police say robbery appears to be the motive in a shooting that happened last night on North Carlisle Street near Temple University. Told you about this at 11 o'clock last night. Investigators say the 22-year-old man who was shot in the chest was visiting the area from New York, and this afternoon that man remains in critical condition and no one's been charged.
Police are hoping this video will help them track down the man who robbed a West Philadelphia restaurant. The video from July 21st shows the man using a crowbar to break into the Caribbean Star Grill on North 52nd Street in Carroll Park. Now, once inside, police say the man put a television along with juice and wine into a pillowcase and then took off. Police in Newcastle County released a sketch of a woman wanted in a home burglary. Investigators say the woman entered a home on Petland Drive in Wilmington back on July 8th. The woman allegedly had a quick conversation with a young resident before running off with jewelry from inside the home.
25 New Jersey residents have now tested positive for the mosquito-borne chikungunya virus. State health officials say the people who came down with the virus had visited the Caribbean. Bergen County has reported 6 cases, the highest in the state. In our area, Gloucester and Monmouth have seen 2 cases, and there's been 1 in Burlington County. Health experts say you can protect yourself from chikungunya and other mosquito-borne illnesses by using repellent, wearing long sleeves and pants, and getting rid of any standing water. Now, the symptoms typically appear in 3 to 7 days. They include severe joint pain, high fever, headache, muscle pain, back pain, and a rash.
It's a field of dreams come true for some area athletes.
NBC 10 takes you there as local leaders make good on a promise. Also, deadly dangers, the surprising new findings about the kind of weather that's most likely to kill. Plus this.
And there was just always a sense of pride that I've had.
A patriot with a purpose, the mission that one young man from our region is taking on all by himself to honor our nation's fighting forces.
Then all new tonight on NBC 10 News at 5 o'clock. First, the mail truck flipped. Now police are involved. What officers found in the mail carrier's purse that led to criminal charges.
This is NBC 10 News.
Ebola now reaching epidemic levels in Africa. Now Americans want to know they're safe. New at 5, a medical expert talks about 2 ways it could make its way into the United States.
Also new at 5, if you're confused by random charges on your cell phone bill, you're not alone. Why the federal government is cracking down on major mobile carriers for overcharging millions of Americans. Plus, this mail truck crashes in Delaware County. New at 5, what police found in the driver's purse that has her in big trouble. Count on NBC 10 News coming up at 5.
NBC 10 has obtained this surveillance video of a mailbox bandit in the act.
He's already struck multiple times, and police are hoping that by releasing this video, they're going to catch him and put the brakes on his crime. NBC 10 South Jersey Bureau reporter Sydney Long is live in Pensacola this afternoon. And Sydney, the stakes could be high for those who find themselves a victim of all this, right?
Jim, that's right. If the investigation reveals the crook got away with any sensitive bank or credit card information, it becomes an identity theft case. Now, detectives don't believe this man to be too sophisticated, but according to this police report, he was able to get into this secure apartment complex twice in 2 weeks.
Caught staring directly into this surveillance camera, Pensacola police want help locating this man, the so-called mailbox bandit.
He's been there twice. I'm sure he'll come back again.
Police Captain Michael Probasco shared this surveillance video with us today. Watch the man who walks with a leisurely waddle, even stretching his arms near the vending machines inside Cooper River Plaza Apartments on July 15th. It was 2:30 in the morning. Look closely at his left hand. Police say he swiped tin snips from a maintenance room, then altered security cameras before breaking open nearly a half-dozen mailboxes.
He just pried the doors, basically forcing the locks with the tin snips.
One woman who's lived in the tightly run apartment complex since 1975 was too nervous to share her last name.
This is federal business. I mean, they have no right.
Taken from the mailboxes were various pieces of mail, and I'm sure he's looking for credit cards and checks or anything else like that that, he could make some profit on.
From one angle, you see him leafing through and tossing victims' personal mail to the ground. Police have notified the postal inspector.
Very bold, and the second time when he came back, looking to do it again. When he left the complex, he did steal a bicycle for his escape.
Now, in the meantime, the complex has stepped up its own security measures here. They are asking residents to be vigilant about securing the doors behind them. Police are working with the victims to see if any funds may turn up missing from their bank accounts. Live in Pennsauken, I'm Sydney Long, NBC 10 News.
Next on NBC 10 News at 5, we're investigating the Philadelphia police corruption scandal.
Next, the allegations so extreme they sound like scenes from a Hollywood film, and why the officers stayed on the job despite the investigation. Sheena Parveen?
And a beautiful day today, but that will come to an end as we go into the end of the week. More moisture moves in, and there's more rain in the forecast. We'll talk about the timing of it coming up.
All right, Sheena. Plus, ceiling tiles ripped, windows broken. Who's suspected of vandalizing a local school? Next on NBC 10 News at 5.
NBC 10 breaking news.
Skyforce 10 remains live over a shooting scene in Philadelphia's Strawberry Mansion section. That's where police are on the scene of a second shooting on the same street. Now, this latest shooting on Page Street happened in the past half hour. It involves a police officer firing a weapon. And we know one person was hurt in this shooting, but investigators have not yet said if that person was shot by the officer. Another person was hurt in a shooting on Page Street earlier today. Police believe the two shootings are connected. Count on updates as soon as we get new information.
I can say that I've been a police officer for more than 40 years, and this is one of the worst cases of corruption that I have ever heard.
Drugs, money, and dirty cops. Tonight at 5, we're digging deeper into the corruption scandal that is rocking the Philadelphia Police Department. We're getting the blow-by-blow, the crimes 6 officers are accused of committing, and why they stayed on the job after the investigation began. Good evening. I'm Keith Jones.
And I'm Denise Nakano. Philadelphia's police commissioner calls it a malignancy inside the department. The officers are facing a long list of charges: racketeering, conspiracy, extortion, robbery, kidnapping, and drug dealing. They all showed up in court this afternoon. NBC 10's Luann Kahn was there for the hearings.
She's live at the federal courthouse in Center City. Luann, what was it like inside that courtroom?
Well, when I saw all 6 officers, you could see that they were all roused out of bed this morning, all wearing T-shirts and shorts, their hands cuffed behind their backs. All of them stood up and said they were pleading not guilty.
The federal government taking the Pennsylvania State Police to court. At 6, who they allegedly discriminate against when hiring new troopers. Also new at 6, this Bucks County teacher says she was wrongly fired for blogging about her students. Why a local judge says she's wrong. Plus, new charges for a local ironworkers union accused of using intimidation and mob tactics to get jobs for their members. The construction projects they were just accused of muscling their way into. Count on NBC 10 News coming up at 6. The latest on breaking news coming up next on NBC 10 News at 6. As we've been telling you, a bad crash on the Pennsylvania Turnpike causing backups for miles now. Skyforce 10 live over the scene here, and NBC 10 is working to learn who's hurt, plus what areas drivers should avoid. Next.
Well, beautiful weather for the middle of the week, but the humidity is making a comeback, and so is our chance for storms. I'm tracking when the rain's going to return in my exclusive NBC 10 First Alert forecast.
In the wake of corruption charges against 6 Philadelphia police officers, criminal convictions could be overturned and there could be more civil lawsuits filed against the city. I'll break it all down next at 6 o'clock.
NBC 10 breaking news.
Once again, Skyforce 10 is live here over a traffic nightmare on the Pennsylvania Turnpike. One person has died here in this accident right here in Wallace Township, Chester County, involving just one car, but a really bad accident. This is between the Downingtown and Morgantown exits on the westbound side. And as you look at Skyforce 10 traces this area for us, traffic is backed up now for miles. What we know here is one car hit a center barrier. It rolled several times. You saw that car. 2 people were thrown from the car, and one of them has now died. Investigators haven't said exactly what caused this crash. We'll stay on top of this for you, bring you any developments as we get them along the Pennsylvania Turnpike. And more breaking news right now from Philadelphia's Strawberry Mansion neighborhood. 2 people are in the hospital after 2 separate shootings on the same street, and a police officer shot one of those injured. NBC 10's Harry Hairston live now gathering the latest information on this breaking story. Harry?
Well, Jim, let me walk you through what we have are two scenes that you're talking about. Down at 30th and Page, it's just a couple of blocks down.
3 stories to look for tonight on Nightly News. Number 1 is an Ebola scare coming to this country because of jet travel. Number 2, saving money on groceries. The real thing, no coupons, no tricks. And growing pains, the web video that's all the rage today. We'll look for you tonight.
And in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware, count on complete coverage of breaking news, major news, and weather. Jim Rosenfield and Jacqueline London, tonight at 11, NBC 10 News. Count on it.